Before the next episode of X Job Downloaded starts, I have a big favour to ask. If you've enjoyed any of our episodes so far, please can you click on the follow button on your platform. I'm on Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon and YouTube. It costs nothing to follow, but makes a real difference to me as a podcast producer. Thank you. This interview is being tape recorded. My name is Paul Maleary and this is X Job Downloaded. And today I'm interviewing Andy Unwin, MBE. Andy is a Staff Sergeant with the British Army and is currently stationed at the MCTC, which is in Colchester. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Paul.
Thanks so much for having me here today. As I explained earlier, I am a Colchester lad and I got lost. Okay, I thought I knew where I was going and I clearly didn't. So thank you for accepting me, albeit I was late. You're running this fantastic medicine ball challenge. I picked up on it on LinkedIn and I think it is absolutely outstanding, the stuff that you're doing around mental health and bringing the conversations to the table. But how did that all start for you and what was the motivator? So
the Medicine Ball Challenge was created in 2018, November 2018, and the catalyst for that was obviously I'd served quite a long time in the military, did 14 years in the infantry and served in some kinetic environments and served with a lot of absolutely amazing blokes. And one particular day I found out that a guy that I'd served with, Reese Miller, his nickname was Smiler, had basically taken his own life, and I was absolutely broken by this. And it was around the time where there was a lot of stuff going on in the media about soldiers suffering with mental health, PTSD. And I had a vast awareness of mental health because when I was around 11, my own father, he was diagnosed with severe depression and he was an alcoholic. Right. So I was aware of what the devastating effects that it could do to people anyway. And so when I found out that Reese had taken his own life, and his nicknamed Smiler, because he was so happy all the time. Nobody knew, no one would have ever known that he was struggling. And he was one of the type of soldiers for me, the best private soldier, always there, right kit, right time, never grumbled. And it really, really got to me to the point where I said to my wife at the time, I said, I'm going to create something that really represents what mental health is and what it feels like. I thought, I can run a marathon, but lots of people run marathons. I'm not taking anything away from that.
No, I couldn't run a marathon if that helps.
Well, but a marathon's done and dusted. And I want to create something that's more like withstanding. And so I literally sat there, and I'm not going to lie, Paul, I got 4 cans of Stella, and I sat in my living room, and I just brainstormed, and I thought, what is mental ill health? And I thought, it's a weight, it's a burden. And I was thinking about a weight. And for some reason, a medicine ball popped into my head. So I sat a bit more, and I was thinking, right, I'm gonna carry this ball around with me for 2 weeks, raising awareness of mental health. We're going to stick stickers on it about stress, anxiety, and encourage others to take on the challenge. When I sat and thought about it a bit more, I actually thought, well, if I carry this ball around, I can literally put it down, go make a cup of tea, or leave it at home, go to work, and just carry on my daily life, really, not really bothering me at all, but mental health's a burden. So I thought, I'm going to chain this ball to myself, so I can't get away from the obviously weight that it is. And so then I bought a big motorbike chain, and I was thinking, right, how do I get this onto my wrist? And I'm sat there and I'm thinking, and it was like over a course of a day, I'm thinking about this challenge, and I'm thinking, and I was sat in my office, and the line of work I do now, which is obviously due to detention and custody, there was a pair of handcuffs on my desk. Obviously the penny dropped, and I thought, I'm going to handcuff it to myself. So I got the ball and got the chain and the handcuffs. I'm sticking stickers on it, stress, anxiety, PTSD. And I got in touch with Combat Stress, letting them know that I've got this idea.
Yep.
And I wanted to launch it on International Men's Day, 2018. I thought that'd be a perfect day, obviously surrounding mental health, because, again, I think that men personally don't talk about their mental health.
No, they don't.
And it's completely invisible. So yeah, we got in touch with them. We had a big launch, and I walked around with this ball chained to myself for 2 weeks. I did a couple of park runs. I was shopping with it, doing everyday life stuff. And while I was doing this, people would come up and either look at me strangely, and I'd talk to them, and I'd say, I bet you're wondering what this is, aren't you? And I'd explain it. And they would be like so fascinated by it and recognise and resonate what it meant. And some people start talking about their own mental health, or they've got family or friends that suffer from mental health, and they said it's such a great way of representing the invisible weight and burden of mental health. Now, within that 2 weeks, I got a lot of interest, and I think I'd raised about £1,300. But the interest and awareness was absolutely massive, and I had people messaging me from all over, I want to do the challenge. And within that 2 weeks, I must have had about 6 months worth of people wanting to do it for a week at a time. So I did it for 2, to get it rolling. And then the challenge was 7 days you wear the medicine ball, only taking it off, sleeping, obviously driving, and anything that would be classed as unsafe. And it went from there. Like I say, my good friend Andy Reid, MBE, he was the next. I wanted him on the ball because he's a triple amputee. Got hit in Afghanistan by an IED, and he's done amazing things. So he was the next on the ball, and he did amazing things. He only had one arm.
Wow. How heavy is this ball?
Yeah, it's 3 kilograms. The ball's 3 kilograms. The chain and the cuffs, you're probably talking over 1 kilogram, so 4 kilograms in total.
Yeah, so best part of £10 for those people that...
Yeah. And so a bit like I said, I was inundated. I was driving around because part of the challenge is you drop the ball off and you have a talk about how it was, and it's about obviously exchanging how you feel about mental health as well. So as that evolves, you basically hand over the ball. I was driving around all over the country, dropping these balls off, or other people were dropping the ball off. And before I knew it, I had, had a job as well, and I had 3 kids to look after.
Yeah,
and it was getting a bit crazy, to be quite honest, Paul. And I got a phone call from an officer who was in the RMP called Andy Perkins. I never met him, and he says, "I've seen your medicine ball challenge, and I think it's fantastic." He goes, "Can I get involved? And can I help you?" I said, "You couldn't have phoned at the right time." So we had a coffee, and he's got the same thing. He's passionate about mental health.
Yeah,
we had a coffee together, and we now run it together.
That's brilliant.
Since again 2018. And it's just gone from strength to strength. The ABF, Army Soldiers Charity Benevolent Fund, and Combat Stress, they've been really behind us, helping us with a website and buying the balls. Because initially, Paul, it was just me, a soldier, trying to deliver balls everywhere, advertising it himself, and it was becoming very, very difficult to manage.
Yeah.
So now the ABF obviously created a website for us where basically it's all automated and the balls get delivered. So if you register for the challenge, the ball gets delivered straight to you. So I don't have any involvement now, which has taken the sort of burden off me.
Wow. That is so cool. Honestly, I saw your thing on LinkedIn. You were doing a presentation and I was drawn to it straight away. Absolutely. And mental health, men's mental health, all mental health, but men are terrible about talking about mental health. They're terrible about visiting the doctor when they've got symptoms for anything.
Absolutely.
People take the mickey. They call it, you've got man flu, but they never get their prostate checked out. They don't get their hearts checked out. They don't get all the stuff. If we were cars, we'd be in for an MOT at a certain point in our lives, but we don't go. And because I don't know whether there's a pride element or whatever it is, I really don't know.
I think for me, Paul, so your mind is still a part of your body. So with men as a prime example, if you was playing football on the weekend and you twisted your ankle and you went into work on a Monday morning, someone asked how you were, a man would quite happily say, "Oh, mate, I went over on my ankle, it's killing, it's swollen up like, But if he was struggling with anxiety or depression, and someone asked how he was, he wouldn't say, "Oh, actually, I'm really down. I've had some bad news, or I'm really anxious about this." Now, why is that? I think it's due to sometimes generationally. There's a lot of pride, and a certain amount. There's still, again, what the medicine ball tries to push for is break down the stigma, because it should be normal to say, "Oh, I'm struggling right now." Like, it's the same as your ankle. If you've hurt your ankle, you'd openly talk about it.
Yeah.
It should be normal to say I'm struggling with my mental health.
But do you not think over history, if you go back to World War I, and Colchester deployed thousands and thousands of troops to the trenches, etc., and people got what they call shell shock.
Yeah,
that was PTSD in a different format. When people were shot because they were called cowards, they weren't cowards. They were suffering from mental health, from PTSD. And I think that we've come forward so far
we now need to keep that pushing, because if we don't keep pushing it, we've seen the cutbacks in the National Health Service, and it's now really us, you and all the great work that you're doing to pull this to the fore, so that people have got the courage to say, do you know what, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I'm not okay, and as I say, you've lost friends and what have you to people that have died by suicide. I have, and I just wish they'd have made that phone call to say, do you know what, I'm at my wit's end. I need that help. I need somebody just to come around and have a cup of tea with me and talk through what's going on.
Yeah. I think that's why we actually absolutely need to normalise that conversation. It should be, again, completely normal to say, I am struggling right now. Yeah. Just to say I've broke my leg or whatever it is, your mind is still a part of your body. Yeah. In fact, it's the most important part of your body, isn't it? And that's what we push for, the challenge. And again, it sparked some amazing conversations. Anyone who's done the challenge who comes back to us say that that's done the best conversations. It sparked people to seek help, which is again raising the awareness. We can't help everyone, and that's the sad part about it, isn't it? And but if we can just, in my eyes, if we just help one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The challenge has raised over £100,000.
Fantastic.
Currently, which is amazing to say that I started it out in my living room, and my initial target was £3,000, and it just kept going and going and going. And and I always say it's not me or Andy Perkins, it's the people who get involved in it, and the everyday people. Everyday people from all walks of life, are taking on this challenge because they've realised what it means. They resonate with it, that invisible weight and burden that is, that so many people are carrying. You could be the highest, paid person in a company, and just really be absolutely dying inside your head, and no one would know it.
Yeah.
And it's really sad.
Yeah, and you can walk into a room with hundreds of people and still be the only one there.
Yeah.
You're the loneliest person.
Yeah. Loneliness, and the more that people like, myself, Andy Perkins, and other people do amazing things with charities that push this and get the awareness out there, it's going to help more people.
What do you now need? You're at a point. What do you need to increase the profile, to get more people involved? Because you've had civilian companies involved, haven't you? It hasn't only been military personnel.
Yeah.
What companies have you had thus far that have taken part?
So we've had JP Morgan, we've had the fire service, the police service, lots of companies that have obviously Security Institute have taken it on.
Yeah.
People from all walks of life and companies they're really big into it. But really, for me, I want to try and get the awareness out there. Is a celebrity on it or somebody that's Tyson Fury, anybody like that who's got that pull.
Yeah.
Obviously to make people listen.
Yeah, well, I will help you wherever I can. I've got a couple of friends in that sort of world, so hopefully we can push this into the right place to try and raise that profile and get you in front of the right people.
Yeah, I think that'd be amazing. Like I said, but it's not just about me pushing just for these celebrities. Obviously, I've already said the everyday people.
Of course.
But we all know that the celebrities give you that reach.
Well,
and that's what we're after.
You said from the social media perspective, you only have to look at one. You put a post out and you might have 300-400 people look at it. Mm-hmm. They put one post out, they'll have 3-4 million people look at it. That's the difference. It's to raise that awareness, and not only in this country, but overseas, because military personnel. A friend of mine is a senior leader over at RF Lakenheath, and one of his members of staff took their own life on the 19th of September. And it's, this type of thing would resonate through all the military.
Yeah.
Not only in the UK, and overseas. I think it's absolutely amazing what you do. And I wish you every success. But please tell me about your MBE, because I'm always in awe of somebody that has got a gong, all right? Because there's always a story behind it. So what's your story, sir?
Yeah, so my stories are funny, because obviously I started this challenge never ever thinking that I'd be getting anything other than raising awareness and sort of my own satisfaction from that. And the challenge had been running about 2 years, and I was back in Colchester at this point, and I got a message. I was working in MCTC, and I got a message that I need to see the CO, commanding officer. And the next day, I was thinking straight away. I thought, what have I done wrong? Everyone in the military always thinks that. You never think you've done something good. And I didn't sleep the night before. I was even checking over some old work, thinking, I was like, what kind of stuff have I missed here? And obviously I went to the CEO's office and he said, come in. He was like, had a joke. He went, put your gum shield in. And straight away then I knew he was joking. And he passed me a phone, and it was a certain brigadier on the phone. And this was just before Christmas. And she basically thanked me for all the work I'd done with the Medicine Ball Challenge. And she just said, I'd like to tell you that you've come off the New Year's honours list. And I nearly fell over. Like, I welled up a little bit. Even my CEO, he was like, don't start, you're getting me going. And, and it was really like, it just knocked me over because I never went into it expecting anything. And I thought, how is Andy Unwin, who's just come from, not really anything, just come from a small town in Halifax, ended up getting an MBE. And obviously it'd come at a time where, I'd just lost my wife as well. So it was, quite a poignant moment there. So, I wish she was here to see that, which was obviously making me quite emotional. And I still couldn't believe it when I went, because afterwards he said, don't tell anyone but your mum. Because I said, I'm not going to get it, I'm not going to go down. I wanted to get it delivered. You can get it delivered, you see, your MBE. And I didn't really fancy going down.
Please. Like
and she went absolutely mental. She went, you are going down to get that medal.
Yeah, absolutely right.
She was, she basically, but I'm glad I went down because I went off to Windsor. And it was a really nice experience. And I got to chat to Prince William, who's obviously an advocate of mental ill health.
Yeah, he is.
And
what a bloke.
He really resonated with the challenge as well, which is nice. So I'm glad I went. My mum forced me to go down. And I still haven't got it mounted yet. And that was
Have you not?
Because for me, obviously, MBE is great. I'm really, thankful for that. But like what we spoke about earlier, it opens doors. And that's what it is for me. It's not about obviously wearing that medal. It's about the doors that it can open and the sort of push that it gives you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was when I was stood in front of Prince William, I thought, how am I talking to Prince William when I was like, and one of my mates, he joked, he was like, Andy Unwin more MBEs than GCSEs. That's what he said, which I thought was quite funny. And it's very true as well.
Absolutely brilliant, mate. Yeah. Well, do you know what? I've really enjoyed our chat today. And if there's anything that we can do through XJob or through XJob Downloaded, please let us know. If there's stuff you want us to promote, if there's stuff that you want to do, if we can assist you in any way, shape or form, we will help you.
And for me, it's just about spreading the awareness. Like I said, if anyone's listening to this, obviously there will be people listening to this, is, if you are struggling with your mental health, just talk to anybody. It doesn't have, anybody. Getting them words out will automatically make you feel better. Yeah. And give yourself a break. Remember that your mind is still a part of your body, and you openly talk about you hurt your leg or any other part. It's the same thing. And like, if you are at that point where you're thinking the worst, I always say to a lot of people is don't make a permanent decision over a temporary emotion. These emotions that you are feeling are temporary and they will fade, but once you make that decision, it's permanent and there's no going back. And the ripple effect that has is huge. And I'm obviously a suicide survivor after what my wife, sadly did, and it's devastating. So just have a think and talk. There's so many agencies out there that can help.
Yeah, there are.
So, and again, just don't be afraid. It's more strength to show vulnerability than to hide it away, especially for men. It takes more strength to show vulnerability.
And it is the single biggest killer for men under the age of 40, isn't it, suicide?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, that is a terrible, terrible fact. And as I say, it's very, very sobering to hear what you're saying. People will be able to get hold of you through the links that are attached to this podcast. Absolutely. I'm going to put them in the body of the text. So if you're looking for it, and if anybody's listening and you want to contact us and discuss this issue, we'd be more than happy to talk it through with you. Andy's websites are all going to be on there, and please take up the Medicine Ball Challenge.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, alter or correct in relation to today's interview?
No, it's been perfect. Great talking to you, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you very much, mate.